I'm here in Okonjima in Namibia. It's one of my favourite places in the world, and I've been so lucky to see a pangolin, because these little guys are in such a lot of trouble. The most trafficked mammal. They're used in Chinese medicine. They seem to think that their scales have got some sort of magical property, but actually it's the same stuff that's in our fingernails. That's all it is, keratin. But they are absolutely brilliant, but we don't know very much about them, which is why the work that's been done by AfriCat is so important, to find out more about them so that we can keep them safe.
Fussy about their food, they're territorial, they're affected by drought, their behaviours change very much in relation to temperature, so the season, when they come out of their burrow, when they go in their burrow. We're also trying to study their interactions with other animals.
It's just so sad that they're under such threat when they're so vulnerable.
I know, it's prehistoric, but he's been around for millions of years. But at the same time, very little is known about them. They're very shy, normally. This guy is not normal, but he's young. We think that's why he's not so shy. So the research we're trying to do is to gather information that will help us protect them and look after them, to know what they need, what are their threats, what helps them survive better. We're also trying to study their interactions with other animals, because we have two key predators here, right? We have leopards and we have brown hyena, but we haven't actually seen we've seen leopards play with them, but we haven't seen them do them any harm.
Right.
But we also have recorded several mortalities, and we're not clear why they died. Maybe it was a territorial fight with another pangolin, maybe it was one of these carnivores, maybe it was something else. It's still a lot of things we need to find out.
It's absolutely heartbreaking.
It is,
that these little creatures are taken away, trafficked, used in medicine, in this mistaken belief that they've got some sort of magical power.
It's all for nothing. It's all really completely and they're so vulnerable. They curl themselves up and it protects them against predators, but it doesn't protect them against people.
Oh, it's just so sad.
It is,
It's very difficult, isn't it, to sort of, how do you reset that? How do you educate people? How do you change that sort of culture? That takes a long, long time, doesn't it?
It does. Changing behaviours takes a long time. Changing beliefs, traditional beliefs, and when they're not based on science to start with, then using facts to try and change them doesn't work. So it's tough. So we protect, a key thing is to protect them, and the Namibian government is very, knows very well, all the issues and is very committed to protecting them and saving them. There's a big rehabilitation program, so whenever they collect trafficked pangolin, they have a big program to release them back into the wild and to follow them and to make sure they're okay. And so there's a lot of research going on around that in terms of how well do these released pangolin do. But we're actually only people in Namibia studying free-ranging pangolin.
Right.
Yeah. And so we have the benefit here. We have a reserve where we have a population that is relatively easy for us to access. So we're able to do that kind of research here.
That's fantastic.
And then we're members of a Namibian Pangolin Working Group, and we share that information with the working group, and contribute to conservation that way.
The work that you're doing here is pioneering. It's wonderful. What do you want the legacy of AfriCat to be?
We want to contribute to conservation, and we want to use this reserve to share it. We share it currently with the tourists, but also to be able to take information like this out of it, share it with the government for policy making, share it with other NGOs, other experts working on conservation. I feel like that's one way we can give back, is to share this place in as many ways as possible. So having researchers come here and use it as a field site, taking information out, testing theories, basically looking at how we're managing it here. We seem to have created a balance farms in Namibia. It was formerly a cattle farm, and I hear somebody. It was formerly a cattle farm, but the family had the exact same problems all other cattle farmers do. Conflict with the leopards. The leopards were eating their calves, and they did the typical thing. Well, we need to take these leopards out, but that wasn't a solution. So taking those kinds of lessons learned and sharing it with others, and now they've created this amazing protected area where pangolin and leopards and hyena and all the herbivores are living together. And what can we learn from that? Because we're in an enclosed protected area, there has to be some level of management, but there's actually very little. And tourism is bringing in a good revenue. We've created, a safe area for animals, and maybe that's part of the solution. That's part of the conservation strategy for the country. And so sharing information about how that works and how that's been successful, hopefully, will contribute to conservation in Namibia.
Very much so. And the thing about this place is a lot of people come back again and again. That's the thing. There's something about here that draws you back.
It is, yes.
It really does.
Yes. Right, there's a feeling, right?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
It's hard to define that in a way. It really is. It's difficult to define that. What's been great about AfriCat though is that it's kind of evolved and changed as things have, as the world has changed. It's kept up and pioneered an awful lot of what's going on in conservation. And like you say, a lot of people can learn from
that.
The thing,
right?
yeah.
Yes. Yeah. There's been a lot of changes. We tried different things. Some things worked, some things didn't work. So then you move on and you try something else. And the family are always thinking, it's like, what can we be doing differently, and how can we be contributing better? And that definitely comes across.
It's hard to keep things going, but people that want to help, what can they do?
One of the big things would be actually collaboration.
Yeah.
It'd be really, what we want to do is share and learn from others. So collaborating with other experts, other NGOs, working with the universities here is something that I'm really keen on, so that the students can come and use this as a research site. That's, like I said, one of the ways that I think we can give back. I mean, obviously funding is great, to fund the activities that we're trying to do, but it's actually the collaboration so that we can collect the information, we can use it, we can interpret it, we can analyze it, we can tap into, government can use it for national policy making. That, to me, one of the ways that we're going to make more of a lasting difference. We can do a wonderful thing here in our little bubble, but we need to be able to take what we do in our little bubble out and have it influence national policy or strategies or what other people are doing. That's how we're going to make a bigger difference.
Long may continue. It's fantastic. Thank you so much.
No, thank you very much. Thank you for coming back.